What if I told you that being a millionaire or even a billionaire wasn't reserved for the top 1%? What if I told you that we can begin to rewrite our narrative and shift our perspective to make abundance and financial freedom available to anyone, literally anyone? What if poverty wasn't real, but only a story that you were programmed to believe? Hi, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Shira Divine, and I am here to awaken the masses to end lack consciousness and suffering here in this world. I teach people how to become powerful co-creators with their reality so that they can begin to step into their soul's purpose. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified every time that I make a new post. Make sure to also check out all of my socials and my free resources that are going to be linked down in the description. So with that being said, let's get into the video. You, my friend, were tricked into poverty. You did not come here to be broke and suffering. You did not come here to live out the same life as everybody else. You did not come here to be a robot. This was all stuff that you were taught. The only difference between the wealthy and the poor is programming. You were programmed to believe that you had to work hard. You were programmed to believe that money is hard to come by and that life is hard. All of these stories are just simply things that you are choosing to believe through the law of nature and through the law of attraction. That is what you experience. What you believe is what you experience. The law of life is the law of belief. As soon as you believe something and you know it to be true, you have no other choice but to experience that reality. You create with your subconscious mind through your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is the master and your subconscious mind is the servant. And your conscious mind makes up only about 10% of your brain capacity. Your subconscious mind controls everything behind the scenes. So when you are younger, you are absorbing everything through your five senses, through your conscious mind. You're taking in your environment. You're sensing the energy around you. So that's why even when your parents don't outright say that they are stressed out, you can feel that as a child and you are absorbing that. Your subconscious mind takes in all of your trauma, all of your memories. That's why you don't consciously remember things when you were younger, but your subconscious remembers everything, even in your past lives. And your subconscious is what is manifesting out in your reality. So if you want to change your reality, you need to change your subconscious programming. This is why Aristotle said, "Give me a boy until the age of 7 and I will show you the man." Because until you're the age of 7, that is your programming. So whatever you're telling a child during the 7 years of life, that is most likely what they will begin to embody when they are older. I'm going to be quoting from the book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. This is where I got my information. And he says an excellent way to get acquainted with the two functions of your mind is to look upon your mind as a garden. You are a gardener and you are planting seeds or thoughts in your subconscious mind all day long based on your habitual thinking. So when we are younger, we are absorbing all of this stuff. And then we create thoughts based on what we learned. We create an identity by our habitual thinking. It's not even our own thinking most of the time. It's just based off of the seeds that were planted in you when you were younger. And then they've sprouted into what you call your identity today. And so then he also says that as you sow in your subconscious mind, so shall you reap in your body and in your environment. Begin now to sow thoughts of peace, happiness, right action, goodwill, and prosperity. Think quietly and with interest on these qualities and accept them fully in your conscious reasoning mind. Continue to plant these wonderful seeds or thoughts in the garden of your mind, and you will reap a glorious harvest. Every thought, therefore, is a cause, and every condition is an effect. Every thought is a cause, and every condition is an effect. So you are thinking thoughts of poverty, you are thinking thoughts of lack, and the effect is being broke. The effect is not having enough. The effect is having to work hard for your money. It's not that this actually exists. It's just the fact that you believe that it exists. That is why you are experiencing what you are currently experiencing. We are all on this earth, but we are not all in the same timeline. That is why you are able to attract anything that you wish, anything that you believe to be true, because other people have done it. And if other people can do it, you can do it. If that reality currently exists, then why can't you have it? That's already proof in itself that it exists and that it's possible. But you don't believe that it's possible. So that reality is not in your timeline. You can't see it. You can't even perceive it because you're so focused on lack, and where your attention goes, your energy flows. He also says, look around you, wherever you live, and you will notice that the vast majority of mankind lives in a world without. The more enlightened men are intensely interested in the world within. Remember, it's the world within, namely your thoughts, feelings, and imagery that makes your world without. This is the conditioning of society. We are so focused on everything that's going on outside of us that we've tuned out our own inner being. We've forgotten that we are creating this through our own inner being. We are ignoring the very thing that can change your whole entire life. We are programmed to be so much in our heads that we're not in our bodies, and our bodies are in the present moment. This is why I say it's not only about the thoughts that you're thinking, but it's about what you're embodying. If you are in a state of lack, and if you're constantly thinking negatively about yourself, about others in the world, then you're probably very constricted right now. Your body is probably tense and tight. You can't relax the muscles in your face. You probably slouch. You're sitting down like this. Because that is constricted. You're constricting the flow. You're constricting yourself from the natural abundance that you are meant to experience. A knowledge of the interaction of your conscious and subconscious minds will enable you to transform your whole entire life. In order to change external conditions, you must change the cause. What is the cause? Your thoughts, your beliefs, the subconscious programming that you have stored in your mind when you were younger. Go back right now. I want you to go back with me and think about what you were raised upon. What did your parents experience? What do you remember them teaching you? Were you told all of these stories, such as money doesn't grow on trees, all rich people are evil? Were they thinking negatively? Did they treat you poorly? Did you grow up with a lot of trauma? And if so, can you currently see how you're reflecting that in your life right now? Do you see how your programming when you were younger correlates to what you're currently experiencing? Because if you were taught different, if you had less trauma growing up, because everybody experiences trauma in somehow, some way, shape, or form, that is just the human experience. But if you were taught to overcome that and grow past that, and if you were taught good things about money, you were taught that you can have and do anything that you want in this world, do you think that your life would be the same right now? So go back, look at what you were taught when you were younger, look at where your life is now, and then see if you were taught something different, if your life would be different right now. Because a lot of us go back and be like, man, well, if I didn't have parents like that, or man, if I didn't have the trauma that I experienced, then my life would look completely different. Yes, it would. It would, because you would have a different programming. But we also cannot change the past. We can only recreate our future through the present moment, through the here and now. So you have the option to make a different choice. You have the option to choose abundance. Let go of the programming. That is the problem. As a society, as a collective, we do not let go of the programming when we were younger. We are continuing out generational curses from the things that our parents passed down from their parents and from their parents' parents. It is all just one big story, a web that we're intertwined with. And we choose to believe this. And this is why we have created the state that humanity is in right now, because we don't know that our conscious mind and our subconscious mind is the matrix. It is the creation. When we were born here, we were given the tools to create any reality that we wish, and yet we decided to create a world full of suffering, a world full of poverty, a world full of lack. Do you really think that these people in high positions of power do not know that you are powerful? Do you really think that they don't know that your mind is the tool for creation. This is why this system is set up the way that it is, because it's using your own power against you. You have these people in high positions telling you that there is a divide. You either have to be rich or you either have to be poor. You have to go left or you have to go right. You have to choose this or that. You're either black or you're white. We are divided by gender, sexuality, race, class, how much money we have in the bank. And these systems perpetuate this. Every time you turn on the news, it's always something negative. Things are bad and getting worse. They program fear into you. Fear is the biggest controller that this world currently has. We are controlled and operated by fear. And when you're in a state of fear, you're in survival mode. So you cannot think properly. You can't even use your conscious and your subconscious mind. You can't sit still because you're always thinking that you have to have your head down. You have to go do this, do this, do that, do this. You're programmed like a little worker bee, like a little robot. The society tells you that you need to go to school, go to college, get a good job, get a degree, work hard for the rest of your life, and then maybe, just maybe, you can retire when you're older. And that's not even a guarantee. This is the story that we were prescribed. We were told that if you're sick, you need to go to a doctor. They'll give you medication and you'll be better. Without realizing that, like, if your body could create the sickness, your body can also heal the sickness. They teach you not to go inward. They teach you to instead focus on this. Society says, here, this is what we're gonna do. Focus on that instead. Because the real power is when you begin to focus within and realize that nothing out here matters. It doesn't matter what the current crises of the world is. As long as you understand that you are a co-creator, you are the creator of your own experience, you can choose not to feed into society, into this capitalist society, into the society who wants you to be a slave. And you're doing it. We literally go like this. We say, here, put the shackles on me. Here, dictate my life for me. Because we are so afraid of our own power, we would rather listen to people who tell us what to do instead. We would much rather be comfortable because at least it's known. Because if we go for the predictable, if we go for what society says that we should do, at least we know the outcome. You know the path that everybody else goes down. But the path that few people go down is to break free from the mold, break free from the illusions, and decide to create your own path. Decide instead to go within and have an internal revolution. Do you realize that because we are powerful, we can have our own revolution internally? All of these peaceful protests, all of these marches, and all of these things that we try to do to get the system to change is never going to work, because like Dr. Joseph Murphy says, we are not addressing the cause, and the cause is internal suffering. The cause is us choosing to believe in a program that is being used against us, that is causing us to suffer. It's not anybody else. The systems in this government and people in these high positions don't have any power other than the power that we choose to give to them. That's it. And when we address the cause by going within and saying, how have I contributed to the society? How have I personally contributed to this story that I'm telling myself? What am I doing to perpetuate lack in my life? What am I embodying? What are the stories that I'm telling myself? What is the habits that I have? Am I working a job that is serving me? Am I following my passions? Am I happy? Are you happy? Are you truly living a life that you feel is authentic to you? And if you're not, you have the power to rewrite that. You have the power to choose. That is your free will. We think that we don't have free will because of the government or because whatever is going on right here, but that's what they want you to think. That's why we have a rise of dictators, because these people want nothing but power. They want to control you, and you allow them. As a collective unconscious, we have elected the person that is going into office because that is showing us the state that humanity is in right now. We are suffering, we have wars, we have poverty, we have homelessness. All of these things can be prevented by doing what nobody chooses to do. Go within. Say, hey, if I'm homeless right now, what am I doing to perpetuate this lack? I was homeless. I was literally homeless. And as you can see now, I have my own place. I have my own apartment. I have my own car. Next year, I'm selling half my shit and I'm traveling across the world to different countries because I want to, because I choose to, because I did not take my circumstances and say, well, I'm a victim. This is just how it is. I had a terrible life. Poor me. I just had so many bad experiences, and if my parents weren't like this, and if I didn't have this reality, then maybe I could do something. Maybe I could, be rich, but I'll never be like them. Fuck no, I didn't do that. Hell nah. Instead, I was like, how can I create this for myself? I see people are doing it. I read all these books and people have created these amazing lives for themselves. I want that. Even if I don't believe that I can have it right now, I know that it's possible. These people literally have outlined the blueprints by leaving books behind. We have like YouTube, we have all of these resources and tools to learn. So why not take the initiative and try to change my story instead of telling myself a sad story of why I could never do it? You're wasting your potential. If you just stop being a victim for just 5 seconds, lay down all of the reasons that you're probably coming up in your head right now of why this is bullshit and why the system has control of it, over us, and why we can never do this. Just drop it. 5 seconds. Just stop complaining for 2.5 seconds. Set all of your excuses down and start asking yourself, well, what can I do to create this? Why isn't it possible for me? Why can't I do this? Take yourself out of the box. Ask yourself, what do I really want and what can I do to get there? Instead of just complaining all the time. That's why we are also in suffering, is because we complain and we're victims. You choose to be a victim. I don't care what you went through. I don't care what circumstances you have. If I wanted to, I could sit up here and tell you a boohoo story all day. I could sit up here and tell you all of the trauma that I went through. And oh my gosh, I'm just this little old poor me. But I'm not, because I'm empowered by my experiences. It is what has led me to this very moment right here. If I did not have shitty parents, if I did not have a shitty family, if I did not go through all of the things that I went through, I would not be here right now. I would not be stepping into my purpose. Everything that you went through was for a reason. This is Earth School. We come here to learn and grow, but we never move past that. We take our trauma and we sit in it, and we tell ourselves stories about it. We make it deeply personal. We say, you know what? This is why I cannot do this, because I was taught this when I was younger. I cannot do this because of the experience that I had. You develop a whole persona around it instead of looking at it objectively and saying, yeah, this happened, but I grew from it. You can take the lessons from the experiences that you have. So right now, I want you to begin by starting an internal revolution. I want you to follow the steps that I'm about to outline, and if you do, I promise you, your life would look completely different. You will begin to see beyond the veil, beyond the illusion that you have been prescribed since you were a kid. You will begin to see how everyone is operating and how everyone is controlled by what society says, by what the government says. You will begin to create your own timeline, your own reality, full of abundance, full of joy, full of laughter, because I will tell you, it is a choice. You are choosing to remain in poverty. You are choosing to be broke, because after you're programmed and after your parents are no longer in your life or you move out, you have the choice. You no longer have to be programmed, because you're programming yourself. You're telling yourself that this is hard, life is hard, you have to clock in, clock out every day. You're perpetuating the stories. But at any moment in time, you have the choice to choose differently. Being rich, being a millionaire and a billionaire is a choice that you must make. Being poor is also a choice that you must make. You choose it by being comfortable, by going after what society says, by being a good little worker, by feeding into the matrix, into capitalism, consumerism, by thinking that you need to give, get. You're always needing something. You're never fulfilled. You're never happy. You're constantly chasing after stuff. You need the next new car. You need the new body. You need the new life. You need this, that, and the third. Because when I tell you, when you get it, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. I got this car and this apartment, and I thought that that's what I wanted. I was like, once I get this car, once I get this apartment, I will be happy. I was worse off than I ever was, because now I had actually time to sit with my thoughts and sit with my being and understand how deeply traumatized I was, how deeply affected I was by all of the experiences that I had. I had to sit with myself. And that is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It was the hardest thing to actually learn how to love myself and be okay with being alone, instead of being surrounded by people who aren't even good for me in the first place, but they make me comfortable because they are reflecting back to me a past version of myself. They are reminding me of what it's like to be traumatized. They are reminding me of what it's like to not be loved and to get the bare minimum. And I was okay with that for a long time, until I started looking at people who had what I wanted. I started thinking about the life that I wanted to experience, the legacy that I wanted to leave here on this earth. And I chose to make a different choice. I could very much well be in the same reality that I was in. I could still be suffering, but I choose not to. So choose differently. Take a look at your life and decide what you want and make the choice. Decide that you can have it. Decide that you are worthy. And realize that the material things that you're chasing after, I know I said money, I know I said billionaires, millionaires, and you're thinking of money, but it's just energy. I want you to stop looking at it as a thing that will determine your happiness, because it's not. It's just a form of energy that you can get into alignment with. First, if you want to attract abundance, you have to feel it, you have to embody it and become it. Because money is not something that's outside of you. It's not something that you have to chase after. And money is energy, because everything in this universe is made up of subatomic particles that vibrate at a certain frequency. What you are seeing right now is energy. It's just 3D form, it's materialized. So we don't physically see the energy that it is, but it doesn't mean that it's not there. Just because you can't see wind doesn't mean that it's not there. Money, the physical paper dollar bill, is just what we use for the energy. It's not actually real. Money is not real. It's just an energy. And you're trying to get into alignment with the energy. But energy likes to flow. But when you constrict the flow by telling yourself stories that make you suffer, then you're never going to have enough. Or if you're saving your money, that's also another way that you're constricting the flow, because money likes to come and go, give and exchange. That is one of the laws of nature. And I also want to reiterate that being a millionaire or a billionaire is not just about the financial aspect. Like I said before, that doesn't matter. You can have anything that you've ever wanted and still be miserable inside, because you haven't dealt with your trauma. You haven't dealt with the insecurities that you have, or the lack of self-love that you have. You need to be in alignment with everything. You need to be in alignment with your mind, your body, and your soul. If you're following your purpose, if you're doing what makes you happy, there's so many other aspects that make us happy, that make the human experience great besides money. Stop making money your master. Master yourself. And then everything will just come into your life as a result of that. There are so many people who have a lot of money and they are miserable inside. They are sick because their body develops illnesses. If you don't deal with your trauma, guys, that can manifest as an illness in your body. Just like the paragraph that I read from the book, it is a manifestation in the body and in your external reality. It doesn't just manifest externally, it also manifests internally. So all of these sicknesses that are created is a result of the negative frequency that you are embodying. Think about it. You are energy. Your thoughts are energy. The way you operate is energy. You are an energy being. So if you constantly keep repeating negativity to yourself, that's going to manifest in your body as a negative experience. So you're going to develop cancer. You're going to develop certain illnesses that you can't seem to get rid of, or that's uncurable. but it's only because of your negative frequency. It's only because there is something within you that's being blocked. So you can take the concept of being a millionaire or a billionaire and make it into whatever you want it to be. But I say that because I want you to think on a granular level. I don't want you to believe that other people are higher than you or there's hierarchies, because there's not. You can jump into any timeline that you wish to receive. I said that because I want you to take yourself out of your current circumstances and start to think big, think bold, have the audacity to call yourself a billionaire, have the audacity to move like a person who is already wealthy. You identify as that person, then you will become that person. Okay, I know that this video was super long. I swear I can talk about this all day, but I want to leave you with 3 actionable steps that you can begin to take right now to embody abundance and step into your desired timeline. Number 1 is self-awareness and shadow work. You cannot change any patterns that you have unless you are aware of them, aware of how you're feeling in your body, aware of your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits, everything that you're doing. You need to be aware of it. So you can take a piece of paper, and mind you, this is a continuous process. You always need to be self-aware. But what you can do to start off is take this piece of paper, or even in your phone notes app, you can start writing down any feelings or thoughts that provoke a strong emotion out of you. Start setting timers on your phone and just check in with yourself. See how you're feeling. Don't judge anything about your current state, just observe. Are you slouched down? Are you constricted? Are your muscles tightened? Because that is telling you what you are currently embodying. A lot of times we still have the same embodiment that we did when we were children. So if you were constantly yelled at, your shoulders are probably always tense, or your face muscles are always restricted, because your body remembers. There's also this book called The Body Keeps Score, because it really does. So set these timers on your phone and observe how your body is feeling. Also, write down any thoughts, or every time your mind goes back to the past or you're thinking about a traumatic experience, write that down. And then you're going to begin to reflect on this. You can look at my Pinterest that is going to be linked down in the description. I have tons of journal prompts saved on there that you can begin to start for your shadow work. But the key is you really want to trace these things that you are noticing back to what you experienced when you were a child. When you can pinpoint what you believe and what you were taught when you were younger and the correlation between what you're experiencing now, this is the story that you can begin to rewire. You now have the experience that you were taught when you were younger, so you can begin to shift that. And then the second step is think about what you want to experience. What do you want out of this life? If there were no limitations, who would you be? Who would you become? What would you have? What would you be doing and thinking and feeling? Think about all of this and create an alter ego. I love alter egos. You're going to hear me talk about this a lot because it works. I have an alter ego, and this alter ego is Shira Divine. As you can see, I introduced myself as a divine being. Shira, my real name, actually means light, and divine is divine light. That is who I am. That is who I embody. I come on here and I want to be a light to people. I want to be a light at the end of the tunnel. I want to serve other people. I am nice. I'm kind. I live in luxury. I embody abundance. I have people around me that support me and love me. I don't take no shit. I have boundaries. I love myself. That is the type of person who I want to become. That is the type of person who I am, because that is my state of being. So create a alter ego for yourself. You can do this by taking what you currently are experiencing and rewrite that into what you want to experience. Or you can look at a mentor, a person who's living the life that you want to live, take out all of the things about their identity that you like and make your own identity from this. And then, now that you have done the self-awareness and you know where you're at and where you want to be, you'll be able to understand when you're embodying from your old frequency and when you're embodying your new frequency, and start aligning some habits that your higher self does or your alter ego does. This can just be one thing. Like if your higher self loves to go do yoga, start doing that. Or if your higher self wakes up early in the morning, start doing that. It doesn't have to be some granular big thing that you do. You don't have to change your life all in one day. Take it slow. These things take time because you were programmed, however old you are right now, that is how long you have been programmed. So you can't undo 20 years of conditioning in one day or even a year. This will take time, but along the journey, you will start to see these beliefs unravel. You will start to see tangible evidence of your manifestations coming into your reality. You will start to see yourself differently, and that is the key. You'll start to be connected. You'll start to understand more. And the third step is be delusional. So since we're talking about money, think about the desired money that you want in your bank account. And what I did was I went on Pinterest and I looked up the amount of money that I wanted to have, and then I screenshotted that, put it on my home screen, and every time I imagined myself logging into my bank account, I looked at that screenshot. I visualized. You need to visualize. Once you create this version of yourself in your head and you know exactly what type of lifestyle that they live, you can also do this by ChatGPT, by the way. Like, just go and say, hey, this is the type of person that I want to become. What lifestyle am I living? And once you have this information, you can begin to visualize this. This is the delusion. Your mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is not. There was a study that was done where they took basketball players and they had one set of players actually shooting hoops, practicing day in and day out, and they had another set of players visualizing themselves making the winning championship. And guess who won? The people who visualized themselves doing it. Because your mind creates your reality. That was the whole theme of this. Your mind is powerful. Your mind creates your reality. Your imagination is the tool of creation. Oh, I should write that down. That was good. Your imagination really is the tool of your creation. So start to visualize this stuff. Stop identifying with poverty. Take yourself out of your situation. I don't care what your situation looks like. Stop identifying as the person who experiences that thing. That is why you be delusional, because you cannot go solely based off of what you're experiencing in your 3D. This is why manifestation does not work for a lot of people, because they say, oh, I want to manifest this, I want to create this type of life, and then they keep saying, well, where is it at? Where is it at? I don't see it. They keep looking in the external when it starts internally. If you're looking for it, you don't believe that you have it. You are connected to everything, so you don't have to chase anything. It is already there. It's already waiting for you. But you're looking at the external again instead of embodying abundance, instead of embodying what you want to receive. That is the key, embodiment. Being delusional, visualizing, creating an alter ego. If you identify as a person who is abundant and wealthy, you're not going to go looking for abundance because you already have it. You already are that. And your current reality is just a sum of your previous thinking. That is why you can't rely on the external, because it's always going to be a representation of what you used to believe. You need to be completely delusional in your frequency, and you will manifest the life of your desires. Your life will change. You will begin to understand that you are God, and there is nothing that is off limits to you. So thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you guys thought down in the comments, and feel free to check out my Millionaire Mindset Masterclass. I have a waitlist. It will be launching in March 1st of 2025, so make sure that you go and get on this waitlist. I'm going to be sharing all of the tips and all of the things that you can do to begin to embody being a millionaire. You'll get to work with me in a personalized small group one-on-one, so you can unravel and uncover all of the stories you've been telling yourself, all of the limiting beliefs that are preventing you from obtaining financial freedom. We will also dive into what it actually means to be a millionaire, how you can actually begin to step into a desired version of yourself. So all of this is going to be linked down in the description, and I will see you guys next week.